Thank you. In the interest of time, let me introduce Dr. Guiping Liu, who is a food safety specialist with Thermo Fisher Scientific. Guiping has been with Thermo Fisher for a couple of years now. Her background was studied botany in China as a college student and majored in botany. And then she also has a master's degree in plant biochemistry. Then she moved to the United States and got her PhD in food science and also in analytical chemistry from Washington State University. And then she did postdoctoral studies at the University of Kentucky. And then she decided to go to warmer weather, so she moved to Florida, where she worked for Syngenta Seeds for 4 or 5 years before coming to Thermo. And we had the pleasure of working with her in San Jose, California for about a year, and recently returned to Beijing, where she is now responsible for all the food safety support in China, Korea, Taiwan, and so forth. And because she's been so successful in China, we're going to add some more people just like like Guiping in Korea, for example, and other Asian countries. So it's a great pleasure to introduce Guiping.
Thank you very much, Stuart, for the nice introduction. And good morning, everyone. I'm from Beijing. This is my first time to be in Korea. And I found immediately Seoul area is so beautiful, surrounded by beautiful mountains. I like mountains. Also, I found Korean people so polite and very nice. So I'm looking for more opportunity to come here and know you more and make friends. So in this seminar, I'm going to talk about the drivers for multi-residue method for pesticides and veterinary drug, the challenges you will face when you develop a multi-residue method, and the successful approach to meet these challenges and simplify the multi-residue workflow. You may ask, why we need to focus on multi-residue method? The first reason is so many chemical residues are regulated in food globally. So in order to comply with the regulations and best safeguard the safety of our food, those many chemical residues must be monitored in food. How can we do that in an efficient way? Definitely create a multi-residue method instead of single residue method. The second reason is many food contamination is caused by multiple food contaminants. So I'm going to show several examples of food contamination scandals. In 2001, Pesticide Action Network, North American Commonwealth, released a report. This report analyzed the data, chemical residue data collected by US FDA, and this report found out all the food category were contaminated by persistent organic pollutants, or we call POPs. Many of POPs are pesticides such as Linden, Mirex, DDT, DE, Elgin, etc. The food category contaminated by POPs, such as including fruits, vegetables, meat, poultry, dairy product, etc. And exposure to POPs can cause severe diseases and developmental disorders, including cancers. So I show the diseases here. I'm not going to read them because you can see very clear. In 2007, US FDA found multiple veterinary drug contamination in the seafood imported from China. Those veterinary drugs include nitrofuran, malachite green, gentle violet, and fluoroquinolones. Those chemicals, veterinary drug chemicals, belong to different chemical classes. And in 2008, in Europe, total 349 pesticides were found in the EU food products, and over 5% fruits, vegetables, and the cereal product contained more than 5 different pesticides. So many pesticides and veterinary drugs are regulated and set up for MRLs, that's maximum residue levels. So in order to comply with the regulations, the best solution is multi-residue method. Multi-residue method has many advantages compared to a single residue method. Such as the first one is high sample throughput. Look at this GC chromatogram, which analyzes 170 pesticides in one analysis. So if the regulation required for analyze 250 pesticides, you only need 2 runs to meet the regulations. That means multi-residue method need less runs to meet the regulation. So shorten your sample turnaround time. And using our TurboFlow technology, that technology I'm going to talk more in detail this afternoon, to screen 54 compounds, including pesticide and veterinary drug, in 12 samples, only takes half an hour, comparing to the manual sample preparation to screen the same number of pesticide and veterinary drug. It takes 5 hours. You can see from this workflow using TurboFlow technology, very few sample preparation steps required. Minimizing the sample preparation means you have a higher sample throughput. Higher sample throughput can translate cost saving, for example, in solvent, labor, time, and power. Because using less solvent means the laboratory staff will expose to less dangerous or hazard compounds, and safer for the staff, and means environmentally green too. When you develop a multi-residue method for pesticide and veterinary drug, you will face many challenges. The first challenge is because so many veterinary drug and pesticide are regulated and set up for MRLs, maximum residue levels, and those pesticide and veterinary drug belong to different chemical classes, have very different chemical natures, such as some very polar, some very non-polar, and some ionic. So it's very challenging to include all the pesticides and the veterinary drug regulated into one multi-residue method. Here I show 3 structures of 3 pesticides. The structure very different, but we can include them in one multi-residue method. As I said, different regulatory agencies set up different MRLs for pesticide and veterinary drug. Some MRLs can go to ppm level, like in this table, for this veterinary drug, the MRLs in ppm level, and for this veterinary drug, the MRL is in ppb levels. Sometimes the MRL can go down to ppt levels. That will give you difficulty in sample preparation and sensitive demand for your detector. So select the right detector is very important for multi-residue method. In this graph, I show the commonly used detection technique for pesticide inventory drug, and this y-axis represents the sensitivity, and this x-axis represents the capability of the detection technique for screening, quantitation, and the confirmation. So from this graph, you can see chromatography coupling with mass spec will give you much higher sensitivity. You can reach lower LOD, LOQ, and at the same time allows you to do screening, confirmation, and quantitation. So you have much capability to analyze many number of pesticide and inventory drug residues when you use chromatography coupling with mass spec. When you develop a multi-residue method, the first step is to extract your residue out of food matrices. There's many challenges for sample preparation. The first challenge is the wide variety of matrices food chemists would deal daily. The matrices of fruits and vegetables, which are high in carbohydrates, pigments, and polyphenols, is very different from the matrix of meat, which are high in protein and fat. And some target compounds also bind to the matrix tissue. For example, nitrofuran metabolites bind to the fish tissue. So you have to use mild acid to release the nitrofuran metabolites and use solvent to extract it. And some pesticides very easy to break down or very difficult to be extracted when you're using acetonitrile as the extraction solvent. That's the commonly used solvent for pesticide and veterinary drug analysis. Finally, your sample preparation also need to meet the AQA requirement, that's analytical quality assurance requirement. Those requirements including LOD, LOQ recovery, that's how much target compound you extract out of your matrix, reproducibility, also confirmation. So at this point, we can determine which detection technique you will use. When you know what's the target compound you are looking for and know the matrix, then decide the detection technique. Then you can determine what's the sample preparation method you will use. You can really simplify this process by break down your analysis is a target analysis or non-target analysis. If you are looking for regulated chemical residues, it's better you choose a target analysis method. In this case, you can utilize some advances development in detection techniques, such as MS and mass spectrometry. When you coupled chromatography with MS and MS, that's the tandem mass spectrometry, will allow you to maximize the capability of your multi-residue method. You can analyze as many as pesticide as possible, or veterinary drug too, and give you much higher sensitivity and selectivity, also higher confidence in identification of your target analytes. This chart shows more detailed process for developing a multi-residue method for pesticide and veterinary drug. I would like to emphasize again, when you coupling chromatography with MS, that's tandem mass spectrometry, or high-resolution mass spectrometry, you will have a much higher capability for your multi-residue method. you can do screening, quantitation, and the confirmation. Use those detection techniques. And at the same time, you will be able to simplify your sample preparation tool using these techniques. However, choosing the very good detection technique is not enough for multi-residue method. Your sample preparation method also need to catch up with your speed of detection. Ideally, each laboratory would like to have a rapid and easy sample preparation method, and ideally, the sample preparation can be automated and have very high recovery, meet the performance criteria requirement for the method. Those criteria including recovery, LOD, LOQ, as I said, reproducibility, confirmation, etc. So chromatography is a very powerful separation tool. Unlike ELISA or other rapid assay, which are specific to a single target compound or target sets, chromatography can be applied to analyze wide classes of chemicals, almost to all kinds of chemicals. And chromatography is selective. It can separate the matrix interference from your target compound. And the retention time combining with mass spec information will give you additional confidence in identification of your target analytes. Recent development in fast GC and ultra high performance LC allowed you to separate several hundred compounds in 10 to 20 minutes. So separation by chromatography is not a bottleneck for multi-residue method anymore. Many of you may be familiar with MS, that's tandem mass spectrometry. With MS, that means you selected precursor ions, then fragment your precursor ions, and use a second mass selective detector to monitor the daughter ions generated. So you have 2 times to select the ions based on its mass over charge ratio. So with MS detection, you will have much higher sensitivity, selectivity, also allowed you to do structural elucidation for the unknown compound. So next, I'm going to use ion trap GC MS, that's the tandem mass, to show you how MS give you higher sensitivity and selectivity. So this spectrum is